Campfire Chat allows you to discuss with your students topics in a medium which young people are very familiar with, and that's chatting online. When you open up the module, you'll see a chat button in whichever module you're on. Click on that particular chat button, and for this module, for Module 7, you'll see we click here to access the chat room. Once you're in the chat room, it's simply a case of logging in using the username and password that you've created. And of course, make sure you don't check the Remember Me on this computer. You'll come into the lobby. You'll see up here it says lobby. So you'll come into the lobby and you'll see all of the rooms that have been created for you. You have access only to the Cyber Teacher Training Room and to the rooms which are pertinent to your school, are the only rooms you have access to. Today we're going to go into the Cyber Teacher Training Room. Once you're in here, you can see that I've been in and out of this room, as has another teacher. All of the teachers within the Cyber Friendly project have access to the Cyber Teacher Training Room. In order to invite students into a room, you need to turn on the guest access. So what happens is by turning on the guest access, of course, you're allowing people into the room. It's very important that when you finish a session in chat that you turn off the Campfire room. Otherwise, young people have the ability to access it from wherever they are. The next step you need to do is have a look at this web address here. It's different for every room. So what you need to do is write this web address here on the board, on the blackboard, and this is how students will gain access to this particular room. Of course, you'll need to have it turned on for students to gain access to it. If you have it turned off and they put this web address in their browser, they're still not going to be able to access the room. You can see down the bottom is where the text bar is, and that's where we begin the chat. And you can see it's real-time chat. As a staff member, you can view all of the chat within the room, and students will only be able to see what has been said when they enter the room, so they won't be able to see the previous conversations. What we're going to do now is go back out into the lobby. So when you're teaching your class, you will need to enter all of these rooms. If you want to have, for example, all of your rooms active, then you'll need to open all of those rooms up and break your class into groups so that each group has a room that they can enter. We're going to go into this room here just to remind you again how to turn on a room and how to turn off a room. So once you enter in and you open up your room, and you can see which rooms are open up the top here, once you enter into a room, you're going to turn it on and say OK, and then this will be the address that you put on the board for the students who you have elected to be in group 1. There are only able to be 12 students in any group, so you won't be able to have your whole class chatting in the one room. You'll need to break them up into groups. Once the students have finished chatting about a particular topic, and you might want to add a topic up here, so we'll go back to our training, and over here we're going to add a topic. Adding a topic is clicking on this button here, add a topic, and we'll call this teacher training. And we'll save that topic, and you see that that topic is up here and you can edit that topic. When we're finished with our training session, or finished with our chat with the young people, we need to turn off the Campfire access, and then we're going to leave the room. Once you've finished your session entirely, and what we'll do here is just make sure that these have been, you can see up here I've still got this particular room here open. So we need to, the guest access is turned off, we just make sure that we leave the room, and you can see nothing else is open up here. What we're going to do then is just sign out of Campfire, which is up in the top on the right hand side.